So thank you everyone for joining us today. For those of you who don't know us, I'm Colby, my mom Eva, business partners. We run Masterminds. This is sort of like a little special one-off workshop that we collaborated with Jamie on putting together, and just felt that it was really important, especially entering spring and kind of coming off the heels of New Year's goals and whatnot, to kind of recalibrate and make sure that we're on track and that we're listening to our bodies as the, spring season kind of comes with a busier business season as well. So anyway, I'm going to let Jamie sort of introduce herself, and then we're just going to dive right in on this workshop so we can make the most of the 75 minutes together.
Thanks, Colby. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Thumbs up if you're feeling good and energized. Medium if you're so-so. Thumbs down if you're like, no, today's not the day. Wow, everyone's kind of good. Amazing. Well, hi, welcome. My name is Jamie Lynn. I'm so honored to be here with you today. Colby and I met back in Maui at an EXP event last year, and her mom, Eva, and just great people. So I appreciate you both, Colby and Eva, and I appreciate all you women joining us today on your Tuesday morning. My hope is that this can be a really mind-opening and body-connecting 75 minutes. I know we all have busy lives, things to do. So just thank you for being present in whatever capacity you can be today. If you can have your camera on so we can see your face and connect, that's personally one of my favorite things, if you can. I think it brings you more present and also just gives me the opportunity to not be talking to a blank screen, which definitely helps if you've led Zooms before. And then also we'll do some interaction with each other. So as much as I'll be leading the workshop today, it's very much going to be led by us as a group and what we are needing from the day. And I have a structure, but I'm super open to where we take it. How does that sound? Sounds good?
Yes.
Awesome. Amazing. So I'm going to share my screen and get into it. Colby, anything you want to add? Eva, anything?
No, just that I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the experience.
Amazing. Okay, so can you all see that?
Yes.
Title screen, perfect. So today's workshop is titled The Art of Embodied Leadership, Aligning Mind, Body, and Business. And I introduced myself already, but let me make sure. Yeah, it changes, right?
Yes.
Wow, it's been a while since I've been on Zoom. Okay, so that's what we're here to do. I introduced myself a little bit, but just more about me and why I enjoy doing this work. I grew up as a dancer, so really connecting to the life of my body. And then as I was growing up, I also started to train as a coach and facilitator. And I realized that there was a piece missing from actually both fields. For dancers, there was a inner purpose and interconnectedness and inner awareness that was missing. And then from the business field or the coaching field, I was realizing there was a lack of connecting to the life of the body. So because I had training in both, I started to really bring those together and have become now a mind-body wellness coach and program facilitator. And I really believe that mind-body connection is essential. Like, it is essential to create a life that you love. Because we are whole beings. We are not just our mind. We are not just our body. We are all things, and they all are so interconnected. So it would make sense then to pay attention to them and to serve both our body and our mind in ways that can really support us in our lives moving forward. There we go. So this workshop today, we decided, because Colby and Eva are just awesome women leading awesome people. This is for realtors, entrepreneurs, businessmen and women who want to lead from a place of alignment, fulfillment, and embodiment. And embodiment is kind of a concept that could be seen as abstract. So I want to just define it in the way that it makes sense to me and how we'll be working with it today. So embodied leadership is an alignment of one's thoughts, emotions, and physical presence to inspire and influence others effectively. Now, what that means is, a lot of times I would say, and feel free to jump in if you feel differently, but I would say a lot of leaders tend to lead from their brain, from their mind, and from their ego. Not ego as like oh, they're too confident, whatever, but just ego from the sense of like, this is what I, like an outer shell. And embodied leadership is really noticing where you are at in your state of leadership in your life, where I'm at, how I feel, what's around me, where I want to go, and how to move towards what I want from a place of attunement and presence and alignment. So that's what we're going to be working with today. When you are in alignment, when mind, body, and business are in harmony, you can have deeper clarity of your vision and your focus, because where you want to go is from a place of groundedness and connectedness. You'll have more energy, you'll have stronger career endurance, and face less burnout, because you won't be pushing yourself based off what your brain wants to create, but you'll be moving with, again, that checking in, that presence, that how am I doing in this moment? Oh, I need to rest. Great. Let me do that so that I can go even harder tomorrow. That to me is embodied leadership. So you can create endurance and optimization in your career, and you'll have more authentic confidence and presence. It won't be an outer thing, an outer shell that you step into in your leadership, but it'll be very connected to who you are and what makes you powerful and you special. And you'll lead from that place of authenticity. So I want you to imagine, that's just information, but I want you to try it on for yourself and imagine, what would it look like for you to lead from a place of embodiment? To me, I feel the most powerful and confident when I'm moving from embodiment. But I want you to imagine what that would look like for you, what kind of success you could accomplish if you were moving through your life with full mind-body connection, treating yourself, knowing what you need in every moment, and moving forward in that way. And just to open it up to share, is anyone willing to just come off mute and share, like, what would that look like to you? What would that, if you were living embodied, what kind of words would describe you?
I can jump in here. I just wanted to give someone else an opportunity.
Yeah.
But for me, what you said about really noticing when I need to take time for rest versus leaning into the times when I really have energy, like being in the flow of that is really become important to me. Whether it just be like my menstrual cycle or whatever it is that's informing my energy that day or that week, or maybe I've just had a really social week coming off of a week at a conference, like maybe that would make me tired, maybe it would make me really energized. And just so really paying attention to that, and then giving myself like the dignity of my process of whatever is needed to actually lean into that and kind of do that and behave that way.
Love that. Thank you for sharing, Colby.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share what that would look like for them if they were living embodied, if they're leading embodied?
Hi, Jamie. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
What just struck me was that if we can lean into that and really listen to our own bodies and our own intuition a little bit more, it makes us more accessible as people. As I happen to be a parent, so it makes me more accessible as a parent, as a leader, because when you're facing a day of whether it be some burnout or tiredness or even exhaustion, you're definitely less able to give. What is that saying? You can't give from an empty cup. So I really believe in that and feel like, it's not a selfish thing to listen to ourselves, but really it's, a giver's mentality that you have to listen to yourself in order to be able to be accessible and give 100% of what the people around you need from you.
Beautiful, Christy. I love that. The word accessible just like hit. I feel like that's such a cool, because it's an access, not of like a lack or taking advantage of, but just a connected access. I love that. Thank you for sharing. One more person want to share. Also, thank you to those who are are stepping up and muting. I know Zoom can be a little silly sometimes. So I'm just, as much as possible, wanting to create an interconnected experience. So anyone else willing to share, what would embodied leadership look like to you? And if it isn't on mute, it can definitely be in the chat as well.
Yeah, Kelsey just chimed in.
Amazing, Kelsey. In flow, confident, and energized. I love it. Thank you, Kelsey. Please feel free to use the chat too. And just so we all make sure we know, I don't know, we've all been doing Zoom, but just everybody go ahead to the chat so we can interact with each other for a moment. And let's go ahead and say, because today's the day of spring equinox, I want to hear everybody's favorite season. So go ahead and head to the chat and just type in, what is your favorite season? My favorite season is definitely spring. I love spring, the flowers, the blossoming, the blooming. We got summer, we got spring, summer, spring for sure. Started seeds today, love it. Fall, Christy coming in with the fall. I love it. Lainey too, fall, but spring right now because sunshine. Yes. So good. So good. We're going to be touching on that a little bit more, just what spring means, because today is the spring equinox. And when we were looking at dates for this workshop, there's a lot of power in this day. So I'll describe it in a little bit. But spring can bring a lot of great energy. Summer is beautiful, enjoying the sun. Fall. No one loves winter. No rain, snow. Winter is my enemy, but that's okay. All right. Let's keep going. Thank you guys for using the chat. Thank you for interacting. It definitely makes a difference for me. I hope it makes a difference for you as well. So now that we've imagined kind of what our version of success looks like, or embodied leadership, embodied success looks like. What? Yeah, there we go. You guys see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So with embodied leadership, you can actually use a lot of your own personal power to create more of what you want. Without it, there can actually be a lot of consequences that are beyond just not getting what you want in life, or not getting the results you want, but can actually lead to deeper issues. So if you continue to move forward with just external goals or just external versions of success, visions of yourself, not tuning into who you are and what you need, then you could have decreased performance. You could have decreased productivity, because the beliefs inside of you and the energy inside of you is out of alignment. They're contradicting. You could want something, but your body is struggling in whatever way it is. And so that it's friction, there's resistance. You could have increased stress, which leads to burnout, which I talked about. And your decision-making, like what you want and how you want to get it, could be clouded. And all of this can happen just because you're not aligned with your mind, body, and action, your mental state, your physical state, your emotional state. That's all it can be. So today we're going to talk about how you can get more aligned so that you don't have to have strained relationships. You don't have to lose people's trust or respect. You don't have to be stressed as a leader. You can actually really enjoy leadership and move with flexibility and fluidity. And so I want to share about the spring equinox because today is a powerful day in that it is the start of spring, which means it's the start of rebirth, growth. The seeds that you've planted, however long you've planted them, are now going to blossom with light and water and care. So I say that because it's important to know that what you want to grow does require attention and love and light, but it's the time to do that. So the world is working for you. If this is a time you want to create more of what you want, the world is moving for you. A lot of us set goals, and just for, so I see if I'm not alone in this, how many of us, raise your hand, set goals at the start of the new year? January 1st, you got a list of goals. Raise your hand. I just want to look in the chat, or you can say me yeah. So all of our hands are up. Okay. Keep your hands up if you have fallen off any of those goals. Keep your hand up if you have fallen off any of those goals. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. My hand is up too, right? So thank you for that. You can drop your hand. This happens for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons, I think, is seasonal. I think spring really does move for us and with us. And I love Paisley said, I chose not to set goals in winter because it can be harsh. There's a sleepy energy. There's a hibernation, a darker movement of the planet. It's just what it is. Days are shorter. less productive. And I feel that big. Some people feel it more, some people feel it less. But with the spring and with this new thing, we can reconnect with some of what we want. So embodied leadership is a wide topic. Today, we're going to look at some of our goals, whether it's ones that we've created in the new year, or it's something that you want to start today. It can be health focused, it can be career focused, it can be personal focused. We're just going to look at a goal that we want to move towards, and then we'll go over how to do it from a place of embodiment. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me, if that sounds good. Perfect. Okay. I read something today, I just want to share it, that along with the spring equinox bringing about new rebirth, there's also almost like a death of limitation, because what wasn't working can fall off. So the Sadhguru explains in the yogic tradition, that the equinox, spring equinox, is seen as a day when one has the best possibility of transcending our limitations. Today is the best possibility. So we are here meeting on a really powerful day. What we can create today is supported just by the energy of the universe. And if none of this sits with you, great, leave it. It's okay. There's just support for you available in the world if you want to use it. So today, we're going to get clear about what you want, and we're going to get clear about what might be getting in the way. And my hope is that by the end of today's workshop, you'll have a clear goal to work towards. And it can be, again, a new one. You can use just one that you really resonate with from the new year, that you're like, man, I wish I didn't fall off this. I really want to get back on track. And you'll have a clear strategy to move towards it. So start to generate some of those thoughts. For now, I kind of want to start wide. I want to just brainstorm on some of our goals so that you can filter out what might be really what you want to focus on today. So I want to take a moment, head over to the chat, and without a lot of thought or filtration, just write out your goals, any of your goals. Head over to the chat, whatever comes to mind. I want to this, I want to this, I want to that, I want to this. As many as you can. Come up with, I would say, at least 3. You can send them one by one. You can send them all together. Just head over to the chat and type some of the things that you want so that you can start moving your energy into that place of growth, blossoming. What are you looking forward to? It can be, by topic. You can do one career, one personal, one health. You can do all health, all career. No limit, just what do you want? Type it in the chat. So far, I want to go to Italy this year. I love it. Finish new script, physically active consistently, slow down, connect, love it. Grow my biz to 100 transactions. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Build a content strategy. Love this, you guys. So good. So good. And as you guys read these, if you've already sent them, go ahead and read what other people are coming up with, because there's energy here, right? We're here with a group. We're here with each other. We can really feed into each other's goals and support each other. I love this. And I love that I'm seeing a really cool mix of personal, career, family, health. So good. Amazing. So continue to do that. I'm going to keep moving with my voice with talking, but if more come to mind, write them down, because this is just about generating the energy and putting it somewhere. In a moment, not right now, but in a moment, we are going to lock in on just one. So whatever you wrote down or whatever's coming to your mind, which one do you want to focus on today for the next 60 minutes that will be supported by the group, will be supported by the processes and exercises we'll do, and will be supported by the spring equinox. So choose one, whatever stands out to you most today. And I want you to write it down either on your computer, in the chat, or on a piece of paper, because this is the first step to an interactive exercise we're going to be working with. You can keep it all in your head, but I'm a big write things down on paper girl. And it can be, you can do this all in the chat too. So it's here for you. You can do it in your notes app, on a pen and paper, whatever you can do. So I want you to start to think about, what is that one goal? Okay. Now, I just asked you a second ago, how many of you set a goal in January? So raise your hand if what you're going to work with today is one of those that you set in January, just so I can see one of those that you set in the new year or one of those you've had before. Okay, perfect. And these are some things that we've fallen off of, right? So we're going to look at why we might fall off. Why do we get off course? We have a goal. We know we want it. We think we can get it, but something takes us off course. So part of that is energy of the planet, which I talked about, just winter versus spring. And I think it comes down to two things. I think one of those things is that you want something different for your life, but you're doing the same behaviors. So your actions don't match what you want. That's one thing. I think the other reason is that you want something different, but you have the same old negative limiting beliefs. So I think it comes down to your behaviors and your beliefs. You want something different for your life, but you either have the same actions or you have the same beliefs. So with this one goal that we're going to focus on, I want to first look at our beliefs around this goal. Now, beliefs around this goal could be anything, and a lot of them could be subconscious. So don't be surprised if they don't come up right away, but we'll coax it, we'll get it out. So did everybody go ahead and type in the chat yes if you have decided on your one goal? Because I want us all to move together. And if you haven't, you can say no. And if you need any support, raise your hand, type it in the chat. I'm happy to support. Just want to make sure we're all working with one goal. And if anyone doesn't have it, is confused, please, please, please share. This is open space. Okay, I'm getting a lot of yeses, so I think we're good. Anyone need guidance? Anyone need a second? Anyone need anything? You can raise your hand virtually, come off mute. Yeah.
So this goal has been a goal and I want to choose it again, but I'm kind of also afraid to choose it again because I don't want to not complete it again.
What would completion look like for you in this goal?
Finishing my script.
And is there a timeline on it?
Well, there was.
Yeah.
And I kind of have fallen off in the last month. So it was supposed to be finished this month, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
So would taking out a timeline, like still keeping this goal and taking out a deadline, would that create more lightness around it?
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's probably the only way to approach it. Something like as something like a script, you know.
Yeah, I think, and you can totally correct me if I'm off base, but I think that probably the fear around choosing this again may stem from a lack of trust in yourself, right? Because it's happened, like you've said it, and have broken the trust. So it might be really good to work with it, because talking about beliefs, there may be new beliefs that you've created about yourself or about this goal from the time of conception to now that are different from the original time of conception. That may be actually contributing to more resistance. And so maybe it's just good to look at those new limiting beliefs today around the fear that you have or the lack of trust or any of that, because you're in a different spot now, having learned what you've learned the past however long you've had this goal and haven't completed it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel on base?
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Of course. Thank you for asking that question. Anyone else want to share or have any questions, concerns? I love this.
Well, I'm right there with you. I am choosing a goal that has been a goal of mine for years that I have not been successful in. There's been ebbs and flows, but meditating regularly is what I've chosen as my goal. And it's just one of those things that always falls to the bottom of my list and just doesn't happen. And I guess my mindset around it is just like, it's important enough to me that it keeps showing up on my like goal lists, that like I know that I'm gonna make it stick at some point. And there is an element of kind of like losing trust in what I say I'm going to do, but um I really want to see it come to fruition, and like I believe that I can make it happen. So just like kind of recommitting myself, and I really like this idea of recommitting myself with the spring, instead of like I always set this goal at the start of the year. And winter is such like a slow time for me, and you would think that would really complement this goal well, but it just hasn't really stuck. So I'm kind of excited to try it in a new like season.
I love that. And I love that you're like, it's clearly important to me, so I keep coming back to it. And maybe what we look at today, it may support, it may not, but what I think is what we look at today is, it's not like, oh, I have this goal and I'm not doing it. Why am I not doing it? It's like, oh, it's taking it to a deeper level of awareness around the disconnect in the mind and body. Because if we want to move towards our goals physically, we need to do it through our body, like quite literally. Our physical body carries us towards these goals. So if there is anything that is not in alignment, that causes tension, and I'm being dramatic, but it's not actually dramatic. It's like causing tension and causing inflammation and causing brain fog and causing these things inside of our body. Of course, we're going to fall off. But if we can become aware of those things, then we can address those things to support us towards this goal, versus keep trying to go around them and just be like, I want to get this goal. I want to get this goal. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at our beliefs. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing. Appreciate you. And thank you everyone else for just holding space and being awesome. This is a good group of people. So you've seen this on the screen already, but we want to write down all of the positive beliefs first that you have about this goal and about yourself as you attain it. So for example, if my goal is to lead at least 5 in-person programs this year, say that's my goal, lead 5 programs this year. Positive beliefs about this goal are that in doing this and achieving this goal, I get to serve so many people. I get to finally do what I love to do and make money for it. I get to do what I love. I get to travel. I get to meet people. I am proud of myself in this space. I am a leader. I am strong. I am confident. Like any of those are positive beliefs that I would have about myself if I achieve this goal. I do what I say I'm going to do. I am motivated. I am dedicated. And it can be really, I actually encourage you to make this a little bit more brainstormy instead of like full complete sentences. Just when the thought shows up, get it out. And if you don't have a pen and paper nearby, again, you can type it or let this just run through your mind. Take a moment with your eyes closed and just think about all of the positive beliefs that you would have about yourself if and when you achieve this goal. And I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. And if I'm fancy with it, which I am, I'll play some music. Let's start closing that out, getting our final thoughts down. And if you need more time, you can continue writing as I move forward. But if you feel complete, you can just follow my timing and move on to now. So after the positive beliefs that we just wrote down, now we want to become aware of some of the negative beliefs that you have about this goal. And both are really important because it gives you a scope of just where you are. So positive and negative, it's not good or bad. It's just that everything exists and it all just is, right? The positive beliefs are the positive ones, the negative ones are the limiting ones. And it's good to become aware of both, because when you become aware of both, you can choose, you can know where you are and choose how you want to move forward. So now we want to write down a list of all of the negative beliefs, whether it's next to that list, underneath that list, format-wise, do what you do. But you want to write down the negative ones. So for my same goal of doing 5 in-person programs, that's my goal. My positive beliefs were that I get to do what I love, that I'm powerful, I'm a leader, I'm enjoying whatever. Those are all my positive. Negative beliefs could be that I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not capable. I'm too lazy. I'm unproductive. Nobody's gonna like them. Nobody's gonna like me. I will mess up. I'll look crazy. People will think I'm dumb. Like, these are all negative beliefs that I, if I'm being honest, have about myself achieving this goal. And saying those things without judgment allows me to become aware of them so that I just know that they're there. And if I know that they're there, I know how to choose to move forward. So as you're writing this list, just notice where you go mentally. And if you go into judgment, it's okay. Catch yourself and just write it down, because I have them, you have them, we all have them. And when you know them and are honest with them, you empower yourself. When you don't know them, or you judge them, or you get taken off course by them, you disempower yourself. So take a moment. Thank you, Melissa, for joining. Take a moment and write down your negative beliefs that you have about this goal. I'm going to do the music. I got feedback that it was a little choppy, so we'll see if this changes anything. But go ahead and take a few minutes and write down some of your negative beliefs. Start wrapping that up. Okay. Amazing. Again, if you have more, continue to write them down. Can you all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The music for me is just kind of not really coming through, or coming through really like choppily. I don't know if it's just me though.
Got it. Instead, I'll just sing for you guys. Just kidding. Okay. So I love, Colby, you said that it was easier to come up with the negative beliefs than it was the positive. Raise your hand or type me in the chat if you agree. If it was easier to come up with some of the negative beliefs, the fears, than the positive. Yeah. So I would say the same for me, and I definitely could come up with a lot of them. There's a reason for that. I'm gonna read the chat for a second. Me too. Yep. Simply being positive. Funny how trending towards the negative is so easy. So there's a reason this is true. When we have these negative beliefs, our brain isn't doing it to mess us up. Our brain isn't like, let me see how bad I could take myself away from these goals, right? It's not doing it to take us off course. It's doing it because at some point of our life, we probably experienced failure. We experienced something where we went for what we want, we took a risk, and it didn't end how we wanted it to end. And so our brain was like, ooh, we're never going to do that again. Then the next one happened. Oh God, see, that's why I said we're never going to do that again. Next time it happens, you fail. You're like, yep, that's it. Never, like literally never doing that again. And instead of responding to the failure, it starts to anticipate the failure and thinks it's supporting you by creating a shortcut that says, when you take risks, this is what happens. And it comes up with a long list of times in your life where maybe you felt like that before. So that's why what we're going to discuss in the rest of this program is really important, because some of those thoughts can translate down into our body and create some major impact if we don't become aware of them. So we have our lists, and now we're going to move into a little bit of a fun experiment, a little exercise, because I love this quote. Actually, Lainey, I heard this from your dad. David Rayner, one of my best mentors, said this. I don't know where he heard it from, but he says, we don't get what we want, we get who we are. We don't get what we want, we get who we are. So we can create these visions of what we want in our mind, but if we are being a different way, if we are feeling a different way internally, then we will get those results. So that's why it's really important for us to choose how we want to live embodied. Okay, so in a moment, I'm going to have you do an exercise. If you want full value, it'll support you to stand up and do this with me. If you just want to experience it, if you're not in a space where you can stand up, there's still so much value to be had here. Excuse me. But it's through mind-body connection. So if you're able to stand up, go ahead and stand on up. If you're not, just make sure you're somewhere in a place that you can move a little bit, okay? And I want you to have your lists handy, your belief list handy. Excuse me. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to go through your list of negative beliefs first. I'll admit her. Okay. So first you're going to read your list of negative beliefs. So again, mine were, I'm not good enough, I'm too lazy, all of these things. As I read those, if you can do it out loud, amazing. If you can't and you can do it in your head, great. Read that belief and act it out in your body. Act it out in your body. Physical posture, get it involved. So for example, my list is, I'm not good enough. I'd slap my shoulders like, oh, I'm not good enough. Or I'm too lazy. Like if I'm lazy, my body has kind of low energy. And sometimes I like to imagine right now I'm with my niece, and if she doesn't want to do something, literally, her body goes like this. Oh, and she shrinks like all the way down. She goes, oh, and she walks and drags her feet. Like that's the level of drama I want. So take a moment and just read it through. I'm going to do it for myself. And if you're like, this is crazy, Jamie, turn off your camera. That's totally fine. But just try it in your chair, standing up, whatever you want to do, just try it. Because again, your mind and body are so connected. This is going to exaggerate it and support you in moving forward. Trust me. So go through them for a second. Whatever your first one is. Okay, first one, oh, read your body language. Or I'm too scared, hide your face. Or I can't do it, push away. Silly, it can be silly, but let your body feel the beliefs. Drop your shoulders, feel the heaviness. Go through each one. If you can say it out loud, even better. If not, totally fine. Take another 30 seconds, get through all of your list, embody it, feel it, live it, do it physically. Ten seconds. If you haven't tried it, at least try one. Slump your shoulders, drop your head, feel it out, and come back and take a seat. Okay, silly exercise. All right. Anyone feel a little silly? Raise your hand if you felt a little silly. Okay. Yeah, kind of silly, right? But how funny is it that this is happening inside of our bodies all the time, whether we're aware of it or not? So when you have a negative thought, a negative belief, your mind is part of your body. Like your mind is your body. When your brain has a signal, your body responds. So when your brain has a thought like, I'm not good enough, your body feels it. Your body takes it on. And we did it in a really silly, funny way, but that's going on inside of ourselves all the time. So numerous studies, they've shown that on a small scale, when you have negative beliefs, it can look like low energy, brain fog, lack of focus. Maybe you guys have felt those things before. On a greater scale, these negative beliefs can literally weaken your immune system. They can cause chronic stress and inflammation. They've done tests where they've seen people think negatively on a brain scan, and they can see that the regions of the brain that respond to stress and threat are heightened. So that can increase your heart rate, elevate your blood pressure. It can shorten your breath, less oxygen to your brain, less oxygen to your body, heightens the inflammation. If all of this is true, which it is, but if all of this is true, then how could you possibly get what you want when all of this is happening unconsciously in your body? So how could you achieve this goal that you really want to have when your body is feeling elevated heart rate, weakened immune system, lack of focus from these negative beliefs that you're unconscious to? So that's why it's so good that we can become aware of these negative beliefs, these limiting beliefs, so that you can choose how you want to move forward. And scientific evidence over and over and over again really supports this mind-body connection. And when you become aware of it and you appreciate the importance of it, you can cultivate the positive experiences and emotions that you want to have for your optimal success and your health and your vitality. So again, we don't get what we want, we get who we are. So if we're having all these unconscious negative beliefs, we want this thing, but we are the embodiment of our beliefs. We are the embodiment of our beliefs. So this negative belief causes droopy body language, exhaustion, tiredness, and you can feel it. And that's what you're presenting to the world. So now I want us to shift it and run the positive beliefs through our body and see how that feels. So again, if you can stand up, amazing. I want you to stand up. If you just want to do it in your chair, fine. Have your list handy and go through your positive beliefs, as many as you can get through, embodying the body language, embodying the belief. So what that would look like is, this is my goal. My goal is to do five in-person programs this year. My positive beliefs is that I get to do what I love. I get to serve people. I get to connect to people. I get to be powerful and a leader. Like, this is my body language when I'm living in those beliefs. So I want you to try it out. Stand up if you can. This is important. This is powerful. And if you can just do it in your chair, fine. If you want to turn off your camera, fine. But I want you to embody the positive beliefs and see what that does for your energy. So take just a minute and read as many as you can. Say it out loud if you can. Just read it into yourself if you can. But you want to embody what it looks like. If you're serving people, what is that? If you're feeling confident, what is that? If you're being able to connect to yourself more, what does it look like to connect to yourself or love yourself, right? If you're loving yourself, you can give yourself a hug. If you're loving your kids more, you can pretend to give them a hug. All of this, you just want to live through your body. Take 10 more seconds to do it. When you're ready, come back and take a seat. And if you notice a difference in your energy, type yes in the chat. If you notice a difference in your energy, type yes in the chat.
And can I chime in really quickly?
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone wants to share, yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because when we were writing positive beliefs and negative beliefs, I felt the negative beliefs came more easily to me. But in this exercise, I actually felt like embodying the positive beliefs came a lot more easily.
Yeah, such a good awareness. Your body wants to support you in moving towards your goals, right? It wants to help you out, and it doesn't feel good to droop your shoulders and to embody lack of confidence or embody fear. It feels much better to be in this state. And again, once we know that, it's like, oh, well, I can just choose to be here. Any other thoughts from this exercise that you all want to share? Okay. Beautiful. Thank you all for doing that. I know that was a silly exercise, but it's just so eye-opening when you invite it consciously. It's like, oh, this is all going on in my body all the time. So as the negative beliefs have impacts, the positive beliefs have impacts too. So when you're aware of your positive beliefs and you're choosing into those, you could have more energy, heightened focus, decrease in stress hormones, a strengthened immune system, a reduce in your blood pressure, improve your cardiovascular health, release endorphins, and just improve your overall mood. Like even I just feel more energized from that 10 seconds. So imagine if I was choosing into these positive beliefs all day long, how you could present yourself, how you could present your body. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. They are both essential in how you want to move forward. I love this quote. I don't know. Honestly, this might be by LL Cool J, but I liked it. The beauty of life lies in its polarity. Like a battery needs both positive and negative terminals to generate power. Our experiences of light and darkness are necessary for growth and illumination. Without awareness, we disempower ourselves and we fall out of alignment. With awareness, without awareness, again, we can go on autopilot, and we allow our negative beliefs to run us, which can lead to burnout and stress. But with awareness, we can gain powerful information and choose how we want to move forward, both mentally and physically. So, excuse me. It's important to actively choose the positive. Now, you can do that mentally, but it's very important to do it physically as well, as we just talked about. We're going to go over now how to release the negativity, both mentally and physically. And I was talking about this a little bit with Elaine about how new belief systems may show up and we need to consciously shift them, right, to move towards what we want. So they give us important information. They don't come out of nowhere. We already went over everything, why they're there and how they can show up. So that's fine. Now that we know why they show up, we can just look at them with curiosity. So instead of having a negative thought come up and judging ourselves, how many of you guys judged yourselves for having these negative thoughts as you wrote down your list of negative beliefs? If you judge yourself, which is a negative, you've just got a double negative on an already negative belief system, right? So if you just look at it for information, curiosity, if you look at the negative belief and you say, wow, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for wanting to protect me, right? We talked about how our thoughts protect us. Thank you for wanting to protect me and keep me safe. But you know what? I think there's another option here. And that's where the conscious shift comes in. Does that make sense? This is an important thing I don't want to breeze through, but I want to make sure we all kind of get it. So without judging yourself for having the negative thought, you become aware of it. You don't deny it. You don't turn away from it. You don't become numb to it. You just say, thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up to give me this new direction. What can I learn from here? What can I learn from this new awareness? And within seconds, you are halting the negative pattern of thought and you shift it into a positive state of curiosity. so that you can use that in your conscious action. So you shift away from the negative gunk and you shift into curiosity. And from that state of curiosity, now you can move. So then you want to release. You want to release it out of your body. And this, to me, has probably saved me from a lot of stress, a lot of burnout, these exercises I'm going to share with you. And they're so easy and quick. It can happen very quickly. It's just about the conscious attention. When you shift it mentally, great. You want to release the negative beliefs from your body. And you can do this in a few ways. I'm going to demonstrate them and explain them. I'm a learner by doing. So if you want to join me, sorry. My goodness. I'm in Arizona and it's dry, y'all. Okay. So I'm going to do these exercises. They're physical exercises so that you can release. If you want to join me, amazing. You'll learn it. You'll learn it. If not, you'll learn it too. You'll absorb it. Great. So here's a couple ways you can do it. You want to first let all of your negative beliefs. So here's option A. I'm going to give you a couple. So one option is like letting your full list of negative beliefs come into your brain. Just flood your brain. Repeat them over and over and over and over again. As you do this, you'll notice that somewhere in your body starts to light up. It starts to tense up or feel nauseous. Oftentimes I feel it right here in my belly. You may feel it in your throat. You may feel it in your chest. Wherever you feel it, you're reading all these negative beliefs. You feel it somewhere in your body. You want to imagine a ball of static or electricity or something that's like moving really quickly. I like ball of electricity or like the sun, right? It's kind of moving right where you feel it physically. You want to take a deep breath in as big as you can go through your nose. Hold it at the top and imagine this ball expanding, 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 expanding until you're ready to release your breath. And when you release, the ball bursts. Okay, so again, you flood all of these negative thoughts in your brain. You feel it somewhere in your body. You imagine a ball of electricity or static. You take a deep inhale, hold it at the top and let that area rise and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until you exhale and it bursts. When you exhale, you want to let all of your your air out and feel the emptiness that is in that area. And on your next inhale, fill it with either a positive belief or just with love, with light, with warmth, whatever that is. You just want to fill that empty space with more of what you want. So you cleared the negativity from wherever it is in the body and you enter in more of what you want. That's an embodiment exercise that can clear, again, the stress, the negativity through a space in your body and fill it with what you want. Are you guys all with me? Does that make sense? Okay. Another way, and I love this one, either imaginatively or physically, imagine yourself in the shower, or I often do this in the shower. So if you're doing it figuratively, like me right now, I'm imagining myself in the shower. I'm imagining water showering me, washing away my body. And as the water rolls down my body, I'm imagining the stress, the negativity, the resistance, the fear, just flowing down onto the floor and into the drain. That's it. I'm just imagining the water wash away the negative beliefs. They do not serve me. I do not need them anymore. I can let them go. Thank you for being here, but I can wash them away. Imagine it washing, 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 washing down into the drain. And then from that place of purity, from cleanliness, you can imagine the water filling you with more of what you want. So now the water can serve you as giving you love or energy or confidence, whatever you need. Now that showers you. Okay, so you can do that in the physical shower, which I love to do at the end of the day, or you just imagine it and imagine it. And I don't know if any of you are trying it with me, but if you are, I'm curious to hear just what your experience is like. So those are two. So first one is the ball, second one is the shower, and the next one, honestly, is just to move your body to dance. You can turn on a fun song that makes you just move into the energy that you want, or you can turn on a angry song to let out the negative emotions, whatever you do, just let yourself move because it shakes it all up. It keeps it out of your head, into your body, out through your body. And then you get to enter in more of what you want. So in each of these exercises, the point is to clear out physically the negative beliefs and bring in more of what you want. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts? Okay.
I feel that the breathing exercises work really well for me. And when I think about like the dancing exercises, like it's so funny because I love music so much and I do like to dance, but I really don't dance at home alone.
Mm.
And I like feel some resistance to that almost like come up in my body, like it feels a little unnatural.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people have that, and it could be different for everybody, but my thought is that there's a freedom that comes in dance that's unpredictable, and it requires a lot of vulnerability and comfortability within yourself. And so a lot of people resist movement because it can't be controlled by the brain, and it is so body forward. So it can feel a little bit scary or weird.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I say dance because it allows from the body up, it allows freedom inside of you, confidence, exploration, discovery, self-acceptance, self-love, forgiveness of looking however you look, right? There's all of that that can come up just from dancing. And it is this like falling in. You almost got to like dive into this experience of freedom. And if you look at a kid dancing, that I would say is like the North Star. Like watch a kid dance on the dance floor and ask them if they give a bleep about anything. They do not. So if you can just tap into that a little bit and try it out, I do think there's a reason it pushes you in that way. And I think that pushing in that way could really support you.
Mm. Yeah.
Does anybody else have the same thing? I mean, does anybody else feel that a little bit like, I don't know if I could dance or I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you're alone at all.
It's interesting that you say dancing because typically if I'm stressed out or if I'm like really trying to work something out in my brain, I find like physical activities to do. That tends to be like yard work or like I never really put, like maybe connected the dots, but that's interesting that you say that. So I've always leaned towards finding something physical to do. It might be, I'm going to go walk or whatever, go work out. And my brain tends to catch up with what's going on in my body at some point.
Totally. That's so intuitive. Like that is so intuitive for you to know that I need movement because it's true. When we're really stressed, again, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. If who you are is stressed, well, you're going to get more stress, right? But if who you are is moving, you're flexible, you're out in nature, you're working out, you're going to get the results that match that. I love that. Amazing. Okay. So it's the body. It is so, so important. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. So with all of these physical practices, like we talked about, you're just, instead of being left with the feeling of stress, fear, whatever the negative beliefs give you, you're left with an experience of lightness and energy and contentment and gratitude and openness and curiosity. And that's the place that you move from. And that's the place that you take action from. So now we want to look at our choices and our behaviors, because again, it's all aligning. There's the mental, there's the physical, and now there's the action, the choices. You want to make conscious choices from this place of alignment and from this place of embodiment. So go ahead and ask yourself, you don't have to write it down, just consider, like, are your daily behaviors and your actions moving you towards your goal that you set? Simple yes or no, right? Are you embodying this version of yourself that you want to be every single day to greater align with your physical actions and your mental vision of success? I love Kelsey, just like, no. Yeah, you can say yes or no. Not yet. Yeah. It's yes or no. We try to make it so much more fancy than it is, but it's yes, my actions and behaviors do match this version of me, or they don't. And I love not consistently. Yes, some days more, some days not. You're either on course, you're off course, totally. So your limiting beliefs can translate into limiting behaviors. What starts in your mind can translate into limiting behaviors. Like if your belief is I'm too lazy, your body language shows lazy, your actions will show lazy, right? That's the trail. That's the trail. So if you feel fearful that you'll fail, which is the belief, that'll translate into procrastination because you don't want to fail, which is the behavior, and that just keeps you from achieving your goal. So you may think that you just need to change your beliefs, but if you change your beliefs without action, you're still off course. Or if you just change your action without your belief, you're still off course. So this is all the embodiment that we're talking about. It's a full alignment, beliefs, behaviors, and actions. What could you do? How could you be every single day that would embody the type of person that you want to be when you achieve the goal that you have? How could you embody the person that you want to be today? Like today, how could you embody that? How could you live that? How could you show that through your body today to reflect the kind of person that you want to be when you achieve it? So if when you achieve this goal, you'll feel more loving towards yourself, how could you be more loving towards yourself today? If when you achieve this goal, you'll feel more confident and powerful, how could you be more confident and powerful today? Because when you are that person, you will attract more of what you want. You will move towards what you want. You will be what you want already today. So of course you're going to get there. Of course you're going to get there. When you focus on the embodiment of it, you're using the mind-body connection to move you. You're using the superpower. It's such a superpower when you're aware of this connection. And when you focus on the embodiment of who you are, you use it and you move towards what you want. And it's with conscious, focused attention and direction. Okay. So any thoughts on that? Any questions? I want to move us into, let's see. I think we could just do this to ourselves. So I'm gonna move this into an exercise. We've already done a lot of this, but this is just for you to write for yourself and you're gonna have it. So whatever your number one goal is, you don't have to rewrite it. If you have it, you can if you want. I want you to have what is your number one goal that you're gonna work towards. What are some of your negative beliefs about it? You already have those. What are some of your positive beliefs? You already have those. Now write down, how could you move towards what you want daily? I already saw some of these in the chat, which is awesome. How could you move towards what you want every single day? And what are you choosing? What's your intention? So really you just have to answer those last two questions if you have all the other stuff written down. And then we want to take a couple minutes because I want to open this up for sharing. I want people to read out their full 1 through 5, just to get voice on it, just to move with it a little bit, just to claim it. It can definitely support you when you speak it out loud. And then what you have here is accountability. We're all here to support you and cheer you on and to want you to build success. And so it's one thing to write it down. It's another to share it. So just make sure you have all those 5 questions answered somewhere, even if it's just in your brain, that's totally fine. I do recommend writing it down so that you can come back to it. And then when you have it, I want to open it up to share. So you can just take yourself off mute, say your name, and then go through these 5 questions. And we'll have time for maybe, we'll see. We'll see how much we have time for. So who wants to share first? And even if your camera's off, by the way, you still have the floor to share. And I know some of you are still writing as well. So everything else should be written, just the last 2. How could you move towards what you want daily? And what are you choosing? What's your intention? Anyone willing to share?
I just finished mine so I can share.
Great.
So with my goal to be meditating daily, I think that a couple choices that I can make for myself are to not schedule my morning meetings in such a way that like the first thing I do is hop on a meeting, like being really intentional about leaving 15 minutes in my morning to actually make this a part of my routine. So it doesn't just constantly go to the wayside. I mean, there's that saying like eat the frog. What's that saying? Like where you eat the frog first thing in the morning, you do the thing that's like the hardest. For some reason this feels the hardest. So like really putting it at the front of my day. And like at the very least, like a lot of times, like when I've had a really busy day, like all I want to do at the end of the day is like turn off my brain. And a lot of times that means like watching a television show or something. And I think like really like not allowing that for myself unless I have meditated that day. Like that has to be like a prerequisite almost to like giving myself that turn off time.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Just being really intentional, essentially.
Yeah. So I was gonna say like those are action steps, which is great. The embodiment of that is the intentionality. So like how could I move towards what I want daily by being intentional? Right? Like it can be that simple. I think sometimes we focus so much on the external steps and the doings that if something's off inside of us and we don't want to do that thing or we're not in the mood or whatever, then we fall off. So if you're being intentional, then it would be really hard to fall off because you'd be connected to your intention. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have like also like a kind of a habit tracker, and meditation is one of the things on there. And it's one of the only things on there that doesn't really have a lot of intention behind it. Like everything else I do pretty well with. And that one just, I haven't. And I think for me, like in the early stages of building a habit, like there is like a check it off the list element because it's so not a part of my routine. It's not a habit yet that like doing that kind of like check it off the list thing. Like I hope that in doing that, like I do get to a point where it's just more of a given in my day. But I think I need to build my way there with this particular habit.
Love that. Proud of you. You got this.
Thanks.
Awesome. Let's take one or two more. Oh, I thank you, Kelsey, for reading it in the writing in the chat. Wow. I read attract, but meant to say chat. Kelsey, is it okay if I read yours out loud? Okay. So Kelsey wants to attract quality leads to work with in her real estate business. Her negative belief is that she's not capable. Positive belief is that she has the gift of connecting with people. What she can do daily is to start talking to more people in the neighborhoods she wants to work in, and to do the difficult things first thing in the morning, like you, Colby. I think that's great. And so if you're embodying this, Kelsey, if you're starting to talk to more people in your neighborhood, then that would require embodying confidence, embodying connection, embodying value. And you'd be doing that first thing in the morning. So maybe for you, excuse me. Maybe for you, it's first thing in the morning, I connect with my value. Or first thing in the morning, I connect with my confidence. And that's the small embodiment piece. So that can lead to all of the other things. Does that make sense, Kelsey? Yeah, of course. Of course, of course. We have time for one more. One more. Anyone willing to share? Anyone have any questions?
Hi, Jamie. I'll share if you want. If the only thing is that I'm not really clear on my number 5, but
Okay. We can
so number 1, my goal was to have 30 plus in my organization. It's not really, it isn't a previously stated goal so much. I mean, generally speaking, yes, but I haven't really set it prior to now. And one of my negative beliefs around it is I think that it's too hard. I think not that many people do it. And I also think that that combined with other things in my life you know, it might somehow get pushed, it gets pushed away, it doesn't stay there as a priority. And then what are some of my positive beliefs about it? You know, when I'm thinking positively about it, I think, you know, there are a lot of people out there that do it. I think that the rewards would be, you know, tremendous, probably better than any of the rewards that I might see out of some of my other goals. I love the idea of being able to say that I did something, you know, that I'm doing what I say. It's a big principle for me not to just say things and then not do them. So that would be the positives. Moving towards what I want daily, I think one of the key things would be the time block. I don't really do that effectively. I think getting other support, which I am in the process of doing right now, are the two key things for number 4. And number 5, what am I choosing? What's my intention? I'm having a hard time kind of understanding
Yeah.
what I'm thinking now versus what I want my intention to be to really make it happen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for me, I think like the intention can really guide the action. So if your action is that, you know, this is what you want to create, this is your goal, your intention can be, I would think of it as a layer deeper that can drive the action. So my intention is to believe in myself. My intention is to move in my power or my capability. Do those make sense? And those are just examples.
Yeah,
Obviously.
no, I'm just jotting down so I remember.
Yeah.
It does make sense. And it's not that I don't understand the question.
Okay.
I think it's maybe more around having to remind myself and being more aware and present, you know, in a daily routine way.
That's perfect.
Because I think this way when I'm in an exercise, or I think this way when I'm reflecting on something.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually living that, you know, it doesn't always show up this way.
Yeah, so that's the power of the intention. It's not, the intention is to give you the direction of where you want to go, which is, I love that you said my intention is to be present and aware daily. That's a powerful intention, because if you were present and aware daily, you would be able to keep yourself on track. You'd be able to do all these other things that would come from living out that intention. Of course, every day is so different, and it's okay if one day you're not as present and aware, but if that's your light at the end of the tunnel, that's where you're moving towards, then that's going to be that magnet that keeps pulling you forward. So I think that's a powerful intention. Yeah. Thank you.
That's it. That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So even if we don't, yeah, it's okay. Thank you to those who shared, and it's okay for anyone that didn't. I want you to just have this. And again, continue to focus on the embodiment of every day. How could you move towards what you want daily? I literally mean physically. How could you move your body towards what you want? Not only through mental action, or not only through checking off your to-do lists, but through the embodiment of who you are and who you want to be, that will move you towards what you want. And your intention is that underlying base that carries you through. It's your focus. It's not the goal, but it's the why of the goal. It's the why of, why do you care about achieving this thing? What is your intention? What's required of you? What will elevate you higher inside of yourself to become the person that you want to be when you achieve this goal? This was all around embodied leadership, but very specifically around the goal. Again, we have the spring equinox to support us today. Like this was a very mind body exercise, but there's also this zoomed out, expanded source of energy here to support you. So with everything that we talked about today, you know, there's, if you can remember anything, it literally is in the title, which is so funny, but just aligning mind, body, and business. Align your mind, body, and business. Align it. Align mind, body, and business to create the results that you want. So if anything is out of alignment, you're taken off course. If your negative beliefs are unconsciously driving you towards heavy body language, connect with your energy. Move your body. Move it. Shake it out. Release it. And move into more of what you want. There's so many layers to embodied leadership, and this is just one of them. We are at our time. I'm going to take just the 1 minute to share with you what could come next if you chose into more of this work. And then I'll just say thank you, Colby and Eva. If there's anything you want to say at the end, absolutely you can. But there's more to this. Embodied leadership is more than just goal setting and doing it in an embodied way. So there's a course that I have that is actually starting next week that can take the embodied leadership past just the goals and the doing of it, and then go into step-by-step practicality. So some of what we can cover on there, or what we will cover on in this course, is how to make prospecting calls from a state of embodiment, how to attract more of who you want to work with from a state of alignment, confidence, embodiment, how to navigate the everyday stresses of life and kids and things and work, and how to do it in a way that you can really support yourself, mind, body, and business. Health practices, exercises, real-time practice of how to lead embodied. Like some of the exercises I just showed you briefly, you'll have more of a chance to actually do, so that we can do them together, and then you can take that off into your world. It's 8 weeks, and each week we'll have a 45-minute Zoom call, just little nuggets every week. It starts next week. I think there's a good amount of spots left. So, no trouble there. If you do want to learn more about it or curious about it, you can go to this website, themovewellness.com/courses. Or if you just are like, yeah, I'm in, you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to the payment page. If you need support financially, let me know. Super flexible. Also, if you want to give it a try and you're like, oof, this isn't for me, you can easily opt out and I will fully refund you, because I don't care. I don't care about the money. I just want you to receive value. And for me, if we were all living from a place of embodiment, I think there would be a lot of bigger scale shifts that happen out in our world, like with your teams that you work with the coworkers you have, with your kids, with your siblings. I mean, there's so much to be gained from just being and living embodied. And so that's my greater vision. And I would love for you to be a part of it. So feel free to check that out. And if you have any questions, I will put my number here, 818-568-5161. Shoot me a text or call me after this, and I'll have some time and we can talk it out. So that's all I have. I'm so grateful for you all. Colby and Eva, thank you so much for putting this together and for having me on here. I just really love and appreciate you both. And Deanna, Christy, Kelsey, Katrina, Margaret, Aline, thank you. Thank you for being here and being part of this. I'm here for you. Take down my number and text me and call me anytime. If you have any questions, need anything, want to download some of this, just let me know. Happy to support.
Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you. This was the best way to start spring.
Yay. Happy spring. Happy spring.
It's here. I'm really feeling it today. I'm like, spring is here. I really feel it in my bones.
Use it. Move with it.
Yeah.